Welcome everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, to our 32 webinar. 32nd, of course, I should say. Today, my guest is Andrey, sitting all the way further to the east from me in Russia. Welcome, Andrey. And Andrey will be talking about replication of data from Business Central to what formerly was called the Common Data System, or is now called Microsoft Dataverse. And of course, Andrey will elaborate on this the next hour. Before I'm going to hand over to Andrey, as always, a couple of housekeeping rules. Those who have been joining before, your microphone is muted, and you can use the GoToWebinar window to post your questions. Andrey and I have agreed that we will save them till the end, so the question and answer will be really at the end of the session, and keep an eye on the number of questions. Andrey said that normally quite a number of questions will be posted. If we can't get them answered during this hour, we will make sure that the questions and the answer will be put on probably YouTube underneath the recording. So I will pick up the questions. Feel free to put your questions in the question window, and well, let's see if Andrey can give you a rightful answer. The recording, as said, will be on YouTube probably this evening already, although today we have also a Dutch Dynamics community meeting in the Netherlands, and I'm hosting that one. So maybe if I don't get it done this evening, it will be there tomorrow morning. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, or some of your peers, colleagues haven't, you know where to find this URL. It's also on our website. And looking ahead, there's a small change in the agenda. Yes, we have 2 sessions planned ahead at the moment, but the first one that should have been Christoph's session, which was originally planned on April 6th, and then we moved it to April 13th. April 6th, there will be a kind of a launch event of Dynamics 365, but then we moved it to the 13th of April, and then Microsoft also communicated that on the 13th of April, the launch event of Business Central 2021 Wave 1 will be. So we decided to move it again, and I will send out a newsletter somewhere the coming weeks where this also will be communicated. So these 2 are on the agenda. Looking forward with the 2-week rhythm, this will mean that indeed the next one is on April 20, and then 2 weeks later it will be May 4. And then after that we're going to plan other things. I have been sending out some invitations to various AL VS Code extensions to get together and present them in one or more Areopa webinars. So keep an eye on that one. Before I'm going to hand over to Andrey, of course, as always, thanks to our sponsor, ForNav, who makes this possible for us every time. So, Andrey, I'm going to make you presenter, which will mean that Great. You should be able to go and share your screen. And I'll let you know if I'm able to see it.
Okay. First of all, could you see me? Hello, colleagues. Warm greetings from Russia. And today I will be your presenter, and we will talk about Business Central integration with CDS, as it former well known, and now it's known as Dataverse.
I'm only seeing your webcam. Maybe
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, okay, so you need to share your screen still.
Okay, let's start.
I didn't want to miss that.
Yeah, okay. And let's start with CDS Portal.
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah, CDS has a lot of URLs to achieve different goals. And now, first of all, we need admin powerplatform.microsoft.com. And here we can open environments. Okay, just a second. Okay. Why we need integration of Business Central with CDS, with Dataverse? Sorry. You can store data in this intermediate platform to let this data use in different applications and in different systems. We use this integration in production for one of our customers. And we will use integration with Dataverse for two purposes. First purpose is to integrate with CRM, with Dynamics for sales. And second purpose is to export data from Business Central to Data Lake, to analyze it with different tools. Why we don't use, for example, APIs? Because customers use different software than Microsoft Power BI. They use other platform and they need CSV files as a source. So why? That's why they use Data Lake. And indeed, Data Lake, it's a storage account in Azure which keeps data in CSV format. And Dataverse allows you to keep this data, keep data tracking, and pass all the changed, modified, inserted, and deleted data to Data Lake, where a customer could analyze it from different tables. The other usage of CDS data could be implementing some Power Apps which can use data not directly from Business Central, but from Dataverse. So first of all, I already created some environment here in Dataverse. It named like Power Platform Admin Center, but indeed this is Dataverse. If you want to create a new environment, just a second, no, open environments, yeah. If you don't have any environments here, you just click in Create New here, select the name for your environment. Just a second, I will remove the webinar panels. Okay. And first important thing, when you created your environment first time, it's select a currency. It's a strange moment, but if you want to replicate your data from Business Central to Dataverse, the currency in Dataverse database should be equal to your local currency in Business Central. So if you use euros, please select euros in Dataverse environments. If you use United States dollars, select United States dollars, and so on. After you create an environment, you need just to set up the one user. So click on Settings inside the environment and select Users plus Permissions. And here click Users. Yeah, that's a list of users. I selected my user already. It will opens in new window. Please have a look, and it's like just a second. This is environment URL you got automatically, and inside the organization URL, your user will be open. For the user, we need to set up roles to integrate it with Business Central. If you have enough permissions, you will see Manage Roles actions here. I'm clicking on it. And here you can assign some roles to your user. You need, in fact, to set up integration with Dataverse from Business Central. You need two roles. First role is a system customizer, this one. And I don't have Business Central environment linked to this Power Platform Admin Center. But if you have it, you will see here the role which named Business Central CDS integration. You will need to select this role and assign it to your user. That's all that you need for initial setup. And after that, you could get the first mistake. Unfortunately, I did it. I will tell you what you can wait and what you can do wrong while you set up your integration with Dataverse from Business Central. If you want just to replicate your data from Business Central to Dataverse, you can do like I described before. But if you want to use Business Central with CRM, with Dynamics 365 for sales, first of all, you need to create environment for CRM. And only after that, connect it to the Business Central. If you create environment how I described, linked it to Business Central, and after that you want to connect it to with the CRM, with Dynamics 365 for sales, you will fail. It was a big surprise for us. We set up replication, everything works smoothly before customer asked us to connect CRM to Business Central. And suddenly occurred that we need to recreate all the replication because CRM can't be connected to existing Dataverse environment. So think twice, see in future, do you need CRM in future or not? But if you need CRM, firstly create environment for CRM, and only after that create connection to Business Central. Okay, how it looks from Business Central. Okay, I have cloud environment, and in the cloud environment, I opened setup and extensions, assisted setup. In the assisted setup, we have setup Dataverse connection. Click on it. Yeah. Click on next. And if Business Central you have in the same tenant with Dataverse environment, you will see all your environments list. You need to select the needed environment here, click OK, and after that, yeah, here you can select environment, and here you need to click sign in with administration users. Please use that user that I showed you before in the previous step with roles, Business Central CDS connection, and system customizer. You need both these roles. Without them, you cannot sign in as administration users. Click next, next, finish, OK. And after that, you'll get setup completed. OK, that's initial setup. It's quite easy. OK. After that, we need Dataverse connection setup. Okay. No, it's not connected. I can show you. It's refreshing. If everything runs successfully, you will get all the information. So this is environment URL connected to your Business Central, enabled mark, Dataverse version, and so on. Everything okay. Scenario I want to show you is how to replicate your own tables to Business Central, to Dataverse. By default, you have next entities like contact, currency, customer, vendor, and I think that's all. Yeah. These entities you have by default. They come from CRM integration. In fact, integration of Business Central with Dataverse, it's not something totally new. It's existing with us from version NAV 2013 as integration with CRM. It uses all the same tables, same code units, and same default entities. If I open my environment, yeah, okay. Now I open next portal, make.powerapps.com environments, and here I selected my environment. This portal looks next way, and here we need tab data tables. In CDS, they were named entities. Now they are named to tables. I click on tables. Okay, refreshing. And here is some standard tables. And I have also some, okay, show you. This is the list, all the list of tables. I have filter here. Here I can check also custom tables. These tables I created, yeah, and I switch to all. Okay, account. This is standard table. They looks a bit strange on SOS side, especially after Business Central. Here are our columns, yeah. Columns, column display name, column name, data type, and that's all we need. If I want to see the data inside the table, I could click on data. Yeah, no records. The table is empty now, but it's totally standard table. But I created the next list of tables I want to replicate from Business Central. Here you can see that I'm replicating customers separately. In fact, it's not working, it's a test demo table. I'm replicating dimension set entry, dimension values, GL accounts, general ledger entries, quite big table, and vendors in a separate table. Yeah. Okay. Let me see, like dimension set entry. Okay. You see, yeah, they have strange names. That's before because this is custom tables, and I have a set of data. Yeah, you see, this is data integrated, replicated from Business Central here in the CDS. How I organized this? For this part, we need to create extension. Let me show it. You can also check it in my GitHub account, github/abaludin/cdsbox. This is repository I created for this purpose. And here you can see in SRC some test objects. My test table, like box table and CDS, just like that, box table. And handling code unit. Let me explain you what we need to put here. It's not something new. All the code you can also find in Microsoft Docs as a sample. I took it from there. Yeah. This is my Visual Studio Code. It's in light mode. In fact, I'm true developer, but Luc asked me to turn mode to light, turn schema to light, because it's more suitable for video recording. Okay. This is a structure of my code unit. Of my project, sorry. First of all, I have a plan to replicate some table to the Dataverse. Okay. I'm opening Dataverse, click on table, yeah, click here a new table, and I'm starting to create a data scheme. For example, I'm created a new table dimension set entry, and here I'm adding fields as columns. The constructor is fully manual, no coding, unfortunately, or I can't find it, okay? So I created here for dimension set entry table, dimension code, dimension name, dimension set entry ID, okay, value code. So it's like the table in the Business Central, but it's in Dataverse. A lot of fields added by default. I'm not created these fields like modified by, modified on, and so on. They added automatically after I saved the table here. So I created all the needed fields. Also think about what field you need really, because each added field will make your application a bit slower. My experiment showed that it's not like if I have 20 fields and I have 10 fields, that 20 fields will replicate twice slower. Not. It will replicate by maybe a part of a second slower per record, but it will be definitely slower. General ledger entry is replication takes, I think, twice more time than dimension set entry record, because in dimension set entry table I have about 6 or 7 fields I need, but in general ledger entry I have, I think it's about 20 or 25 fields replicating from standard table. After I create here a table in Dataverse, I need to implement the next scheme in my Visual Studio Code. I need to create, let me show you, for example, GL entry table. Yeah, see. Such table. You see this coding hell, a lot of unknown properties, new properties, external name, external type, description. Let me show you. Yeah, option fields. Look how they looks like. Option ordinal values and so on. If you think that I created it manually, no. Microsoft has a special tool in your IL language extension. Let me show you. Yeah. The path is next. Your users folder, your username, .vs Code, extension, MS Dynamics, SMB, IL. This is a folder of IL language extension on your PC. And /bin. Inside this, you have such small exe file. And in Microsoft Docs, you can read how to use it. You need this file. Okay, and sorry. You need to create such file, for example, RSP. Yeah, you have projects parameter. It's your project folder, package path to your IL packages folder, URL to your Dataverse environment, the name of entity you created. Yeah, see, CR7E5 vendor. Yeah, tables. This table. Link to table name. Okay. And also ID you want to create, the table you want to create, and table type looks CDS. A year ago, it has a table type CRM, but now it's renamed to CDS. Okay. You need this file. You need this utilite alt-pgen exe. Okay. After that, you call it from command line from terminal window with parameter argsrsp, and it automatically will create you such table. You also need to input your Dataverse credentials, but after that you will get all this intermediate table you need. Okay. And the third part of our application is a management code unit. Yeah. Let me open, yeah, this code unit. It consists of different event subscribers. What will happen after I publish this app to my database? Okay. Let me show you again. Setup. Okay. In Dataverse connection setup, I have an action which named use default synchronization setup. After I press it, it calls okay, yeah, it calls this event, handle and after reset configuration, and it calls the function which named create GL entry mapping, and and what this function do? It create the mapping between my table, general ledger entry, and this intermediate table I created, GL entry table. The table is not editable manually, so we need to create all these fields and field mappings by code. This is the only part you need. Where you can see it, yeah, I press use default synchronization setup. After that will happen some magic, and I'll get a new entry here, integration table mappings. Yeah, new functionality. This is my table. Yeah, this sorting, integration table name I created, and on the mapping field, mapping action, you can see fields mapping. Yeah, entry num no to entry no field, and so on, so on, so on, so on. All fields from table 17 to my integration table. And after my integration table mapping record created, I can just press synchronization, run full synchronization. It will run the job, in fact. Yeah, integration sync job. You can see this job running each 5 minutes, and it continue replicating entries from my GL entry table to CDS. See, inserted records 100, 200, 100, and so on. 0, 0, 0. Just after user creates some GL entries in the system, in 5 minutes they will be replicated to CDS. The moment replication works like a charm. no fails. If something went wrong, you can click on fail and check what's wrong. Inside the CDS, Dataverse. Okay. I also have export to data lake action. I can show you. It's loading. Okay. And here you can see the list of my tables, which I linked to data lake storage account in the Azure. The replication runs maybe, yeah, this is quite fresh. This is quite old because replicate new GL accounts appear in my system not very frequent. So last GL account was created 5 days ago. So, but GL entries, dimension set entries and dimensions value replicating each day. New vendors haven't appeared since 3rd of March. Okay. And this is records counting. And in the Azure, in storage account, I could find the CSV file with all the data, which could be analyzed by some tools or whatever you want. But okay, this is auto replicator to data lake, and it has one strange specialty. It split data by years. So for data replicated in 2020, you have 2020.csv, and for records from this year, we have a separate file, and it can't be handled from Dataverse anyway. It replicated them automatically to these files. You can manage this process with Data Factory. If you create Data Factory account in your Azure, you can set up a connection from Data Factory to Dataverse, and you can obtain data from here, whatever you want. But you need a special guy who will create it for you. It's not me, unfortunately, but I have colleagues who can do this. Okay, this is how process works. Okay. And okay, about what happened during the replication process. As I mentioned before, we created this replication process, and after that, customer asked us to connect CRM. We have to remove our previous Dataverse environment and create new and replicate all the data one more time. If you're stuck with this, you create replication again and run it, and it will show you that you replicated nothing. That's because in Business Central we have special table. Okay, can refresh and show it for you. This is quite old table. No. And table, this one. CRM integration. Yeah, this is embedded table, CRM integration record. And here you have information about all the synced records with the status. Yeah, it contains just ID and so on. But the issue is while you have record ID here, the record wouldn't be replicated again, even if it doesn't exist in Dataverse environment. So if you want to run all the replication process again with deleting all the data and creating new, you need to clear this table, CRM integration records. While you delete all the records, the Dataverse application could be run again, and you will get new records from Business Central into your Dataverse environment. Okay. And one more thing I want to show you. It's how to replicate data to Dataverse without any code. This was a standard replication when I copy in the full data to the Dataverse, and we can set up a replication without coding and without copying the data. We can do it with virtual entities. Yeah. Okay, Business Central. Yeah. In the AppSurce, Microsoft AppSurce, we have such app, Business Central Virtual Table. You can, it's free, but it's still in preview. You can press Get It Now, and it will show you all your environments. You need to select your Dataverse environment where you want to publish it. It publishing not to your Business Central, but to Dataverse environment. Okay. After publishing, you could click on your environment and select tables. Yeah. Okay. Please drop the filter from custom to all. Yeah, to see all the entities, and type in search Business Central. After virtual entities app installation, you will get Business Central Virtual Data Source Configuration Table. This one. Click on it. Here is some columns, and it has some wired setup on my mind. We need to click on this table on data. And here is only one record, Business Central. Okay. Before you click on this table, on this record, you need to allow your Business Central to use virtual entities. Okay, it could be found here on your Business Central tenant. Print Azure Active Directory applications. Click on it, and you can see the only record, client ID, Business Central for virtual entities, and after first installation, the state will be disabled. You need to change it from disabled to enabled to make it visible in your Dataverse environment. Okay, change this parameter. Open, as I said, in your Dataverse environment tables, Business Central Virtual Data Source Configuration, Data, and click on Business Central. Click Edit Record. After that, Dataverse can see your Business Central. Let's wait. Target host will be API Business Central Dynamics.com. Here you can you need to print your environment name, and after that select a company which you want to use as virtual entities. In fact, all your virtual entities is your Business Central APIs. You just create new API, and it could be visible as a virtual table in the Dataverse. That's cool. Okay. We are selecting this, and this. Click on Save. And after that, we go to Tables. Yeah. And in the search, print Business Central again. Yeah. Here is the table which named Available Business Central Table. We are clicking on it. Yeah. And click on Data. And now we're waiting, I think, for a minute. Now Dataverse collects all your APIs which were published on your Business Central for your company which you selected on the previous step. All the standard APIs, all APIs you created will be shown here. And you can select, okay, yeah, you can see this is all my APIs. Yeah, in the end, you can see the standard APIs like purchase receipt, purchase order, sales order. Every API can be chosen as virtual entities. For this, you need, for example, okay, let it be journal. Yeah, I'm clicking on edit record again. And here is the only option. Show me. It's not loading. Yeah. On general, you need just to put visible mark and click save. After that, this API journal, you can see it in tables. I used, for example, let me show. Show. Item ledger entry. Yeah. See, I published item ledger entries API as virtual entities inside my Dataverse environment. It will have the strange name like this. Sorry. I need to refresh it again. Okay. Item ledger. Yeah. The name will be like this: Dynamic 365 BC, item ledger entry, VE, which named virtual entity, and so on. I click on table. And this is the data from my API. Come on, work. Yeah, like this. Document numbers and so on. And this integration, this table were created without any line of code. I just have a standard API, item ledger entry. I published, where is it? Yeah, this Business Central Virtual Table app on my Dataverse environment. And after that, I made some setup, and now I can see all my APIs as virtual tables. Also, I could provide this data to Power Apps, for example, and so on. Now I'm working to create integration between Data Factory and virtual entity, because we can't publish the data from virtual entity to data lake the standard way, because these tables are not supporting data tracking. Do we have new data? Were data modified, and so on? They can't be used for this. So we are trying now to create connector from Data Factory to virtual entities to publish data this way without any coding, to save our time and so on. So it's my future project. I hope we can do this to save our time and money. What I wanted to say you before. Virtual entities limitations. I stuck with this because, for example, standard OData limitation, as you know, 20,000 entries per request. And this is also actual for virtual entities. It will turn you back only 20,000 records max. But after April release, Microsoft promised, as I read, to implement pagination for APIs, which used as virtual entities, and we can get more data in Dataverse, in fact. Okay. So I think I told you everything I wanted. And now, Luc, do we have any questions?
To turn on my microphone, yes, we do have a lot of questions.
Okay, let's start with questions.
Yeah, I'll start with the first one from Christoph. He has actually nicely numbered 3 questions. The first one, in what regions the virtual entities are now supported for the BC app? And he added, I could install it on US, but no lock. Is there a regional restriction? Where is it available and where is it not? Do you know about that?
I know that no restrictions exist. We have our Business Central in US tenant. No, they both in European tenant, not in United States. I tried it also, I remember, with United States tenant, and it worked. So I think we need to fix something maybe in setup, but I heard that some restrictions exist. Virtual entities could be used anyway.
Okay. Second question from Christoph is, can I send the media fields to Dataverse?
Nice question. I think media said no, but I think we can use Blob or something that we can. Let me check. Choices, tables.
Blob is a SQL Server.
The main problem, do we have the needed table field, field type in the Dataverse?
Yeah. Let's
check, like with customer. This is okay. Add column, data type. We even have phone, image. Yeah, we have image here. Image or file. It's worth the separate experiment how to replicate this data type to image or file. Maybe this works, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. Stefan Strub, who's on the call, he says he can comment on that, but he needs to do that then. He says file or image. You have to use the file or image. So actually, that's where you pointed at. Third question from Christoph. Is it possible to export the table structure in Power Apps Portal?
As I know, the Power App could connect to Dataverse table directly. So we can, we can create, but I'm not the specialist with Power Portal. I only created on test environment some basic app for the table view in the Dataverse. So I know that you can see the data from Power App, but know anything about table structures or so on.
Clear. Quite a list of questions. Stefan Strubbe gave a tip that you can create tables and columns from import of Excel file using a specific tool. And he shared the link. Let me switch that. I'll be the presenter and I can show it because I used the link. So I think my screen is here.
Toolbox.
So the URL toolbox, you can use that to import from Excel table columns definition. So that's a tip.
So you just create your table description in Excel and import file here, and it will create the table inside the Dataverse. That's cool.
Yeah, Indeed it is. Well, if I need, I will switch back to you, but meanwhile, let's continue with the question. So, Stefan, thank you very much for the tip. Yuri License has a question. Is the purpose of this replication mechanism from BC to Dataverse only to replicate data a few times per day, or can it also be used to do real-time syncing? For example, of sales orders, each time an order is created, etc., etc.
Yeah, that was indeed the main purpose, to have close to online data replication. You have replication job queue entry, and I scheduled it to work each 5 minutes. So it's very close to online replication. Every 5 minutes, job checks that new records appear and replicate them to Dataverse. That's quite enough. We need this online replication for closing periods when accountants analyze the data from Business Central and they create some closing documents and need new GL entries close to online mode. So now it works for customer when we replicate it each 5 minutes. I can set up it faster, but no need for this. 5 minutes is enough for replication.
Clear. Question from Saurav. How can we add custom fields, part of table extension, in replication process? For example, if there are 5 fields in the customer table, which is part of the base Microsoft Dataverse.
Haven't done it, but I know that it works because it was described in Microsoft documents. We just create table extension if we need for customer table. Create the same CRM, intermediate CRM table in AL with Alt Gen tool connecting to Dataverse standard table, and add some mapping with the same code unit. It well described on Microsoft Docs and with exactly with a customer table, so you can check for the ready code there. It works for standard tables to replicate by parts, but I replicated them fully.
Thank you. Next question from Rupali. I want to create a custom database from Business Central. How can I restrict some users in same tenant in BC from accessing sales data?
Could you repeat one more time?
Yeah. I want to create...
It was very complicated, very complex scenario.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm repeating what he's describing. I want to create a custom database from Business Central. How can I restrict some users in same tenant in BC from accessing sales data?
If you want to restrict access for Business Central users to CDS, or it's not very clear for me, this question.
Yeah, this is all I have. If Rupali can add some, he has an additional question. Maybe that relates to it. How can I access purchase order, service or sales order from BC in Dataverse?
I think we don't have some mechanism to restrict users to access data in Dataverse. As I see, the users have the full access to CDS data. So it's not like in Business Central, then when you can set up some responsibility centers or something that for users that when they can see only their customers and only their sales orders. In Dataverse, unfortunately, I think if user has an access to your table in Dataverse, it has the full access to all the data. But I think I think. Let me show you.
So I need to make you presenter.
No, you can share. We have we could create views in Dataverse Tables. So I think you can restrict the access on that level. You can create separate views, table views for some employees and provide them only this view. Maybe this could work, but I never had some purposes to restrict data. Now all my tasks were to provide all the data. But I think that Dataverse views can help you.
Rupali added some extra information on the previous question. I want to create a child database from my current database tenant in BC. Restrict access to sales data and give access to only this restricted database to some of the team members. Is that possible?
Honestly, don't know.
Clear. You might get some more information shared with us.
I think it's them for a separate topic for your webinars.
A call on somebody that can get onto that.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, honestly.
There was a question from Shidin. He joined a little bit late. Please ignore below question if already addressed. But the question is this integration possible with Business Central version 14? You didn't discuss that, but is that possible?
I remember that in embedded Dataverse connector appears from version 15. From version 15, it's definitely possible, but I think that the functionality is pretty the same because we had never tried, but I think it's possible. Just to publish such extension and create some code, but you will have table type CRM, not CDS, in version 14. It could work or could not. I don't know, but the schema, I think, they're pretty the same with the newest versions.
Stefan gave also an answer more or less to the question of Rupali to restrict access. He says that Dataverse has its own security model and can restrict access to it. A last question also from Rupali. Is it mandatory to sync sales, so Business Central sales with Dataverse in order to sync BC and Dataverse? It's not that clear.
If the standard tables you'll get like account and so on, you can just remove it from integration table mapping, remove all the jobs related to it, and this data will not be synced with Dataverse. So you can remove it, yeah.
And that was the last question, Andrey. It was indeed quite a list compared to what we often do get, the number of questions we often do get. So, I
have one small notice. I have a blog in community.dynamics.com, and I described there all these scenarios with pictures, with steps, and I know that looking at video is not very suitable, but you can check my blog for all this information. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Step by step, I described all you need.
Yeah. If you send me the link, I will put it underneath the recording on YouTube. Thank you very much, Andrey. It was nice and clear and nicely on time too. So everybody, thank you for joining. have a nice evening, nice afternoon, nice morning, maybe even. We'll might be meeting in approximately 4 weeks' time when Tobias Venser will have the next Areopa webinar. Andrey, thank you very much. Stay healthy, everybody, and let's meet the next time. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Luc. Thanks all. Bye.